What's up, y'all? My name is Nia Ashe, and I am the Purpose Student Doula. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. And if you're returning, welcome back. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in to this second documented episode of my journey to becoming a full spectrum doula. In my initial video, which, side note, if you haven't watched it yet, make sure you go back and do that. I spoke a lot on the reasons why I wanted to become a birth worker, literally detailing all of the events, both minor and major, that have contributed to where it is that I am today. I went super in depth as to why it is that I felt called to be in this space. So again, if you haven't watched it, definitely go ahead and check it out. In today's video, we will be getting into the nitty-gritty of my training process with Bebo Mia. If you've never heard of Bebo Mia before, Bebo Mia prides itself on its anti-oppressive and inclusive doula training programs. Whether you aspire to be a full spectrum doula, a birth doula, or even a childbirth educator, all of the programs that are available have those values in mind. And it's definitely one of the many reasons why I chose to certify through Bebo Mia. When I received my scholarship, it was on March 18th, and I literally had 2 days to get my life together and get enrolled and make sure that I had myself situated for classes to start that Thursday on the 20th. The first day of classes was honestly a surreal moment for me. Like I said in my previous video, these are childhood aspirations that have now evolved into a beautiful, purpose-filled calling that God has over my life. And the fact that I was there on day one, like, I don't even have the words for it, you know? I was just super grateful to really be in the building. The first day of classes, we dove into what a doula is, what that support looks like, and why it is that we're here. It was very cute, you know, it was very insightful. And I say that because right when we got into week 2 of classes, we got right down to business, okay? Shout out to Mulan, okay? We got down to business trying to defeat the Hans. That is the reproductive justice and birth equity fight. We kicked off officially month 1 in the very beginning of the reproductive journey. Not even talking about conception, I'm talking about the fertility aspect. Because the Maternal Support Practitioner Program focuses on fertility, pregnancy, and postpartum support, we're literally taken through the entire reproductive journey and everything that happens in between. The second week of our first month, we talked about birth as it is and went into part 1 of our fertility lecture. Because fertility can be extremely nuanced and there can be several complications when it comes to an individual's fertility, part 2 addressed what those were while also giving us an insight of the 2 variants of loss. We closed out month 1 by discussing queer and trans conception, the anatomy and physiology of pregnancy, and the stages and phases of labor. Now, because Bebo Mia is an inclusive training program, it was imperative that we as future maternal support practitioners learned about the queer and trans conception journey. Whether we choose to serve that demographic, as a birth worker, we represent advocating for positive birthing experiences. That means regardless of your race, regardless of your size, regardless of your sexual orientation, your religious affiliation, and all the things that make you uniquely you, our goal and our job as a birth worker is to provide and support a positive reproductive journey experience. Now, for me, as a heterosexual woman, the queer and trans conception part of that lecture was really perspective shifting. And I really thank Bebo Mia for including that, not only in that lecture, but throughout the remaining lectures that were to come. Now that our proverbial client is expecting, we dove into month 2 by really getting into the nitty-gritty details of what pregnancy is like. We talked about the prenatal monitoring and interventions that take place at the various appointments, and then we started part 1 of our lecture on comfort measures. The comfort measures that we discussed ranged from medical to non-medical, and so because of that, when we went into part 2 of comfort measures, we also made sure to talk about the epidural. because regardless of what your beliefs are when it comes to the epidural, it's important as a well-rounded maternal support practitioner that we know what this is and we know how to best discuss this route of comfort with our clients. We closed out month 2 talking about optimal fetal positioning, pre and postnatal fitness, and pelvic floor health, which I greatly appreciated as far as the pelvic floor health aspect went. After hearing from various birthers, including girlfriends of my own, about their various experiences with their pelvic floor after giving birth, I found it very imperative that we talked about the pelvic floor health, again, as a way to be able to inform and equip our clients with the information that they need so that way they can have a positive reproductive journey, particularly postpartum. In talking about the pelvic floor, that means we're getting closer to our proverbial client giving birth. We kicked off month 3 talking about the doula's role in the labor process and when it comes to postpartum. We also touched on immediate postpartum and newborn assessments. Because we strive for a positive birthing experience for our clients, Bebo Mia made sure to include a lecture all about cesarean births and special circumstances. Because again, no matter what your beliefs are and no matter what your philosophies are, it's important for maternal support practitioners that aim to be well-rounded to know about cesarean births, and that way we can equip our clients with the information that they need to be best prepared. Our last 2 weeks of month 3 spoke on the postpartum period. Because postpartum is an equally delicate time for the pregnant person who's now transitioned to being a parent, we had to have a 2-part lecture on the postpartum period, just to be well equipped and well informed of what that looks like. We also touched on newborn care and how we as a doula can facilitate that and support our clients in that way. We also talked about feeding from the body and how it is that we can support our clients in that way, whether they choose to go that route or not. Month 4, which of course was the most bittersweet because it was our final month, we wrapped up the postpartum period and started talking a bit about the business side of being a birth worker. The first week of month 4, we had a whole discussion on attachment and sleep, which I greatly appreciated because it was nothing but scientific facts. It was nothing but evidence-based research. And again, no matter what your beliefs are, you know the rest. It's important that we as maternal support practitioners be well-rounded and have the information so that way we can pass it along to our clients and they can have a positive reproductive journey and also parenting journey. The attachment and sleep lesson was really, really good. We touched on mental wellness and taking care of you, speaking on what that looks like for the parent and sometimes parents, and then what that looks like for the doula as well, whether we are their postpartum doula or we are recovering after supporting a birth. The last 2 classes of month 4 were strictly for our business. We talked about the protocols and procedures that we should have in place in order to have a sustainable business. And then our last class was a conglomerate of all the business skills classes that we have participated in throughout the 16 weeks. The business skills classes were optional for us to attend, and they were part of the plethora of additional resources that were presented to us throughout the 16 weeks. From business skills classes to breakout sessions and even guest speakers that corresponded to the respective lectures, each opportunity that we had to connect with the community presented a way for us to be even more embedded into birth work and really just learn more about the career field that some of us may be stepping into for the first time. Now, because I was a scholarship recipient, I was presented with an opportunity to attend several scholarship light-up sessions. And that was pretty much an opportunity for all recipients to be able to come together and air out our grievances. We got to talk about anything that was plaguing us, anything that was troubling us. We got to speak on the highs as well, the things that we've been able to grow through and grow from. The scholarship light-ups had their own respective topics, one of which being facing rejection. That one, because it came to mind, I'm quite sure was my favorite one, and it was one that definitely made the most impact. Overall, though, I couldn't have asked for a better training process with bebo Mia. The community support that was given to us, the amount of information that we received and how comprehensive it was, the flexibility that was given to us, and again, the support that we received was truly top tier. Two of the mantras that were recited to us at the beginning of every class were where you are is perfect and that prioritizing yourself isn't selfish. When I tell y'all I needed to hear those at the beginning of every single lecture, I literally meant that, because throughout those 16 weeks, it was an amazing opportunity for me to start cultivating a healthy work-life balance. This was my first time back in a classroom setting in about 10 years. And even though the setting was strictly virtual, it still required for me personally to set up systems and routines that would help me and encourage me to remain committed and dedicated to this program that I had signed up for. Especially because it was virtual and we didn't have people here in person to be able to literally hold us accountable. It took a certain amount of discipline for sure and dedication to be able to see those 16 weeks through. Now, even though this was only the first part of the entire process with bebo Mia, I definitely feel super equipped to be able to tackle the certification process. Because with that, it requires us to put our feet in the water, for some diving headfirst, and start supporting clients. Because the Maternal Support Practitioner Program focuses on fertility, pregnancy and birth, and postpartum, we had the luxury of picking one track to be able to focus on for our certification requirements. For me personally, I chose the pregnancy and birth route, primarily because it was an area of the reproductive journey that I didn't have any hands-on experience with. And it was something that I knew would be able to stretch me and I felt would properly position me to be the birth worker that I envision myself to be. Now that I've chosen the pregnancy and birth track, I've been required to support at least 3 births. And in supporting those births, it has to total up to 50 hours. In addition to those births, I'm required to read my respective reading list and complete my final exam. Now, the beautiful thing about all of this is, again, the flexibility that bebo Mia has to offer. We're given a total of 2 years, y'all, to meet all of our certification requirements. And for me, that was pretty much making it known that we are here, more so they are here, to make sure that we see this program through. The 2 years that we have to certify were presented in either a 5-month track, a 1-year track, or a 2-year track. Now, because I've chosen the 1-year track, I'm pretty much on pace to meet my requirements by March 20th of 2026. That's my personal deadline, since that's when we first started classes. Y'all definitely hold me accountable to that, okay? Because while I have all the dedication and the passion and the commitment and the purpose and all that stuff, we know how life be lifing, and we know how adulting be adulting. So as much as I'm holding myself accountable, I'm asking y'all to hold me accountable too and make sure that I see this through by March 20th of 2026. Throughout this certification process, we're blessed with the opportunity to still receive support from bebo Mia. We're not getting kicked out of the nest and forced to fly on our own by the grace of God. We are presented with opportunities to be able to connect with the various peer mentors that are throughout the bebo Mia community, and even have the opportunity to participate in the mental health sessions that take place. And that specific perk we have access to for the rest of our lives, which super grateful for, because after supporting my first birth in August, I definitely took a whole week to recoup. I needed to recoup energetically. I needed to recoup physically, like all of those things. So I'm super grateful for the fact that we have that mental health support and that it's ongoing. I honestly couldn't have asked for a better training experience with Bebo Mia. And so if there's anyone out there that's interested in becoming a doula, wants to learn more about Bebo Mia and the various courses that they have available, make sure you visit the link that's in the description. You'll be able to see Bebo Mia's beautiful website, take a look at all of the things that they have to offer, not even just programs, but a plethora of free resources as well. And those free resources can definitely benefit you, whether you are a birth worker or not, whether you plan to have children or not. If you know somebody that has kids, definitely check out Bebo Mia's website. I promise you there will be something very worthwhile. Now, for those of you that came onto this video because you're researching different training programs out there, if you want to be part of the gang that changes the world, make sure you send me an email, okay? If you have any questions about Bebo Mia, if you have any questions about the training program, if you want to chat more about my experience, I'm an open book and I love people and I love connecting with people. So feel free to shoot me an email. I can honestly say that after completing Bebo Mia's training program that I feel super equipped to be able to succeed in this realm, especially as a re-emerging entrepreneur. I'm super thankful for my experience and I'm super grateful for all of the people that I've met and the resources that I've gained along the way. Most importantly, I'm super grateful for the training that I received because I really do feel like I'll be able to embody and step into the role of birth worker that I've been dreaming about for so long. So thank you, Bebo Mia. Thank you, God. Thank y'all for watching this video. Again, my name is Nia Ashe, and I am the Purpose Student Doula. Until next time, I'll chat with y'all later. Peace.